Imagine your life as a ship sailing toward a distant shore. Every day, distractions rise like waves threatening to push you off course. What if I told you that the secret to reaching your destination is simpler than you think? It is focus. It is attention. It is the ability to shut out the noise and steer straight ahead. Good evening, friends. Tonight, I want to speak to you about a force more powerful than money, luck, or talent, a force that determines the shape of your life and the measure of your success. This force is focus. Every day, we are besieged by distractions. Some are subtle, the ping of a message, the endless scroll of images, the whispers of doubt in our own minds. Others are bold and demanding voices of others telling us what to do, where to go, what to buy. Each interruption steals a fragment of our attention, and with it, a fragment of our potential. Think for a moment of your dreams. Now think of the hours wasted on trivialities, the minutes lost to wandering thoughts. If success has a price, it is attention and the ability to guard it. Focus is not an accident. It is the conscious decision to say, not now. My goals are more important than this fleeting distraction. The path of achievement is narrow. The moment you scatter your attention, you give life's currents the power to push you off course. On the other hand, the individual who masters focus possesses a kind of quiet strength, a strength that multiplies with every hour of deliberate, undisturbed effort. Here is a truth as timeless as the mountains. You become what you think about most, and what you focus on grows. The ideas you nurture, the tasks you protect, and the distractions you refuse all shape your destiny. How do we cultivate this focus? First, recognize your enemies. Identify the habits, environments, and people that fragment your mind. Next, create sanctuary for your attention. Set aside periods where nothing but your highest priorities claim your focus. Then, practice consistency. Even 1 hour of undisturbed work each day compounds into monumental progress over a year. And finally, train your mind with purpose. Meditation, journaling, and reflection are not luxuries. They are tools to strengthen your attention and sharpen your resolve. Friends, the world will always demand your attention. It will pull, tug, and beg for it. But the extraordinary life you desire is not shaped by what others demand. It is shaped by what you choose to hold close. So today, I challenge you to take one concrete step. Identify your single most important goal, then block a dedicated time free from all distractions to move closer to it. Protect this time as if it were gold. Because in the economy of life, focus is wealth, and the fortune it creates is measured not in dollars, but in the fulfillment of your purpose. Distractions are the silent thieves of your time and your dreams, creeping into your life not with a loud alarm, but with a whisper so subtle that you scarcely notice their presence. They come disguised as urgent matters, harmless diversions, or even as friendly advice. Every time your mind wanders, every time you give in to a momentary interruption, these distractions steal from the only resource that truly matters, your attention. It is attention that fuels thought, thought that fuels action, and action that shapes destiny. If you scatter your attention, you scatter your life, and the consequences are rarely dramatic in the moment, yet they compound over days, months, and years until you find that the life you imagined has quietly slipped away while you were busy attending to the trivial. Consider for a moment the nature of these distractions. Some are external, the incessant ringing of a phone, the notifications that demand your glance, the endless flood of information pouring from every direction. Others are internal doubts, fears, indecision, the wandering curiosity that leads you down paths of no consequence. Both are equally dangerous, for one diverts your energy outward, and the other drains it from within. The mind, like a lens, cannot focus on multiple things with equal intensity. When it tries, clarity is lost and productivity diminishes. Each interruption, each moment spent reacting rather than creating, exacts a hidden toll, invisible yet undeniable. The remarkable truth about focus is that it is a choice. You may not always control the presence of distractions, but you can control your response to them. The successful individual recognizes these thieves immediately and refuses to give them entrance into the sanctuary of attention. They understand that their time is finite, their goals precise, and their life too valuable to be surrendered to triviality. While others drift from task to task, pulled by every passing whim, they concentrate, undeterred, on the work that will create results, on the thoughts that will shape their future. Every great accomplishment in history is built upon long stretches of undisturbed focus, for it is in those moments that ideas crystallize, decisions solidify, and actions become effective. To allow distractions free rein is to barter away opportunity without ever noticing the cost, to surrender potential before it has the chance to manifest, and to wander aimlessly in a world that rewards those who can hold their attention steady. Every interruption chips away at your potential for success. often in ways so subtle that you fail to notice the damage until it has already been done. It is not always the dramatic crises, the emergencies, or the major obstacles that derail progress. More often, it is the small, repeated interruptions that slowly erode your capacity to achieve. Each time you pause your work to check a message, respond to a trivial question, or entertain a fleeting thought that has little to do with your ultimate goal, you are giving away pieces of your potential. The mind, like a finely tuned instrument, loses harmony when its focus is broken repeatedly. When energy is divided, clarity diminishes, decisions become less precise, and the path forward grows clouded. Consider the accumulation of these interruptions over the course of a day. A few minutes here, a few minutes there. It may seem insignificant. Yet when added together, these fragments of attention can consume hours, and hours are the currency in which achievement is paid. Every moment lost to distraction is a moment not invested in growth, in learning, in deliberate action toward your vision. The person who allows interruptions to dictate their day finds that their progress slows, that tasks take longer, and that their energy wanes before they have even begun to make meaningful strides. The most successful people understand that interruptions are not just inconvenient. They are dangerous. They recognize the quiet, almost invisible assault on their potential, and they respond not with anger but with discipline. They create boundaries, protect their time, and structure their day so that their attention is directed toward the things that matter most. It is a simple truth that results follow focus, and every interruption that diverts attention is a small failure to honor the most powerful resource you possess, your mind. The cost of ignoring interruptions is often invisible until the moment of reflection. Dreams stall, goals are delayed, and the gap between intention and achievement widens. The ability to control the influence of interruptions is what separates those who merely wish for success from those who actually achieve it. Every deliberate effort to guard your attention is a deposit in the bank of potential, and every concession to distraction is a withdrawal that leaves your future less certain, less full of promise, and less within your grasp. In the quiet discipline of defending your focus, in the conscious choice to honor your time and your energy, you find a power few ever discover, a power that transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results, and a power that allows you to claim the success that others only dream about. Focus is not just a skill, it is a deliberate choice, a conscious decision to direct your mind toward the things that matter most while shutting out everything that does not. It is not something that happens by accident, and it is certainly not a product of circumstance. The individual who achieves great things is not the one who stumbles into success, but the one who chooses day after day to concentrate their energy on what will yield the highest return. Focus is the steering wheel of the mind, and without it, even the most talented person will drift aimlessly, carried along by the currents of distraction and indecision. To understand the power of focus, consider this: the human mind is capable of astonishing feats when it is trained on a single goal. Creativity flourishes, insight deepens, and productivity multiplies in ways that seem almost magical to the casual observer. Yet this same mind, when scattered across countless directions, produces little of consequence. It is the deliberate, concentrated effort, the choice to prioritize, to eliminate the unnecessary, to channel thought with precision, that separates the average from the extraordinary. Choice is at the heart of focus. Each day we are presented with countless opportunities to surrender our attention to trivialities, to entertain diversions, to respond to the demands of others before attending to our own priorities. The person who chooses focus understands that attention is not infinite, that each moment spent on the unimportant is a moment taken from the pursuit of greatness. They guard their mind as a wealthy person guards their fortune, knowing that it is in the careful investment of attention that success is built. Developing focus requires discipline, awareness, and a clear understanding of what truly matters. It begins with identifying your highest priorities and creating an environment that supports uninterrupted work. It continues with the practice of saying no to distractions, resisting the temptations of convenience, and consistently returning your attention to the task at hand whenever it wanders. Over time, this practice strengthens the mind, sharpening it like a finely honed blade capable of cutting through complexity, overcoming obstacles, and producing results far beyond ordinary effort. The difference between those who succeed and those who merely drift through life lies largely in this choice. It is a choice that can be made in an instant, yet its effects ripple across a lifetime. Every action, every thought, every decision becomes more powerful when focus is present. In the quiet, steady discipline of attention, you find not only the path to achievement, but also the clarity to understand what you truly want, the resolve to pursue it relentlessly, and the energy to transform vision into reality, the most successful people protect their attention as fiercely as they protect their money, for they understand that time and focus are the currency with which achievement is bought. Wealth, fame, and influence are fleeting without the ability to concentrate, while a mind trained to guard its attention can accomplish more than mere talent or luck could ever deliver. Success is not an accident. It is a product of deliberate choices, of consistent actions, and most importantly, of an unwavering commitment to concentrate on what truly matters. Those who reach extraordinary heights understand that their attention is the most valuable asset they possess, and they treat it with the respect and care it deserves. Consider the life of the individual who allows their attention to wander. Every fleeting distraction, every moment spent reacting to trivial demands chips away at potential. They may possess talent, resources, or opportunity, but without the discipline to focus, their abilities dissipate into a sea of inconsequential activity. The successful person, on the other hand, recognizes that attention is like a lens. When it is focused, light concentrates, energy intensifies, and results multiply. When it is scattered, everything becomes dim, and progress slows to a crawl. Protecting attention requires a conscious effort. It is a daily choice to prioritize tasks, to create boundaries, and to resist the temptation to respond immediately to every interruption. It is the willingness to say no to requests, to distractions, and to the lure of convenience in order to safeguard the precious moments needed for meaningful work. By doing so, the mind remains clear, the purpose remains visible, and energy is directed toward outcomes that build lasting success. The power of focused attention compounds over time. Each hour of concentrated effort adds to the momentum, creating results that are visible, measurable, and transformative. Just as a prudent investor watches over a growing portfolio, the individual who guards their attention nurtures the seeds of achievement, allowing them to flourish into accomplishments that are both significant and enduring. Ultimately, protecting your attention is not merely a tactic for productivity, it is a philosophy of life. It is the recognition that your mind is your most important asset, that every moment you allow to slip away is a moment of opportunity lost, and that the path to greatness is paved with the discipline to remain unwaveringly focused on your highest priorities. The individual who masters this art does not simply accumulate wealth or recognition, they cultivate the ability to turn vision into reality, to transform ambition into accomplishment, and to live a life defined by purpose and achievement. Multitasking is a myth. The human mind thrives on single-minded effort, and every attempt to divide attention between multiple tasks comes at a cost far greater than most people realize. While it may appear efficient to juggle several projects at once, the truth is that the brain cannot give its full power to more than one task at a time. Each split focus diminishes clarity, slows execution, and weakens the quality of results. Those who believe they are accomplishing more are often deceiving themselves, for what is gained in apparent speed is lost in depth, creativity, and lasting achievement. The person who succeeds does not scatter their mind across many directions, they concentrate on one objective until it is mastered, and only then move to the next. Consider for a moment how the mind operates. When attention is focused on a single task, thought becomes sharper, decisions become clearer, and productivity accelerates. The neural pathways strengthen, forming habits of efficiency and insight that compound over time. Conversely, when attention is divided, the mind shifts back and forth, consuming energy with every transition, losing continuity, and creating mistakes that require additional effort to correct. The simple act of switching from one task to another carries hidden costs, often measured in minutes, hours, or even days, and the cumulative effect is the slow erosion of potential. Single-minded effort is not merely a recommendation. It is the principle upon which great accomplishment is built. The person who masters focus understands the value of prioritization. They select the task of greatest importance, dedicate uninterrupted attention to it, and refuse to allow lesser matters to intrude. In doing so, they harness the natural power of concentration and turn effort into results. Their work is not only more productive but also more meaningful, for it reflects the deliberate investment of thought, energy, and time. This principle extends beyond mere tasks. It shapes character, habits, and ultimately destiny. By committing fully to one pursuit at a time, the mind learns discipline, patience, and the power of deliberate practice. The individual who cultivates single-minded focus finds that challenges are more easily overcome, creativity flows more freely, and progress accelerates in a way that fragmented effort could never achieve. Every success story you admire, every achievement that seems extraordinary, is rooted in this principle. Behind the scenes lies a relentless dedication to focusing on one thing at a time until it is done, perfected, and fully realized. The mind, when fully committed, becomes a force that moves obstacles aside, solves problems with precision, and transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary outcomes. Clarity of purpose precedes extraordinary achievement, for without a clearly defined goal, effort is scattered, energy is wasted, and the mind drifts like a ship without a rudder. Those who accomplish great things do so not because they are more talented or more fortunate than others, but because they know precisely what they are aiming for. Purpose acts as a compass, guiding every thought, every decision, and every action toward a destination that is clearly envisioned in the mind. Without it, even the most determined effort can produce little more than noise, movement without direction, and results that fall short of true potential. To develop clarity of purpose, one must first engage in honest self-reflection. Ask yourself what you truly want, not what others expect, not what seems convenient, but what resonates deeply within. What is the one outcome that, if achieved, would transform your life? What is the vision that ignites passion in your heart and focus in your mind? It is in the answer to these questions that clarity is born, and with clarity comes the ability to concentrate attention and energy on the tasks that matter most. Purpose is not static, it grows and evolves as you grow. Yet even in its simplest form, it provides a filter through which every opportunity, every decision, and every distraction can be measured. Those who achieve greatness do not act on whim or impulse, they act in alignment with their purpose. They say no to the trivial, no to the urgent but unimportant, and yes only to the actions that move them closer to their clearly defined goal. In this way, clarity of purpose serves as both anchor and engine, keeping the mind steady and propelling effort forward with power and direction. When purpose is clear, focus becomes natural. The distractions that once seemed overwhelming fade into the background, for the mind recognizes that nothing is more important than the pursuit of the chosen objective. Motivation becomes intrinsic rather than borrowed, resilience strengthens, and obstacles are seen not as barriers but as tests of commitment and opportunity for growth. Every decision is measured against the ultimate aim, and time, energy, and talent are invested wisely, producing results that compound over days, months, and years. The connection between clarity of purpose and achievement is universal. From the inventor who labors tirelessly on a single innovation to the entrepreneur who builds an empire from a vision, from the artist who perfects a single masterpiece to the leader who inspires nations, the principle remains the same. Achievement is never accidental, it is the product of a mind focused, a purpose defined, and effort concentrated on what truly matters. The individual who cultivates this clarity learns to navigate life with precision, harnessing every thought and action toward outcomes that are significant, lasting, and extraordinary. The price of distraction is measured in lost opportunities, and few things in life are as costly as the moments we surrender to the unimportant. Every time your attention is pulled away from what truly matters, a small but irreversible portion of your potential slips through your fingers. Distraction may appear harmless, even pleasant, but it carries a hidden cost that compounds silently, often unnoticed until years have passed. It is not the dramatic failures that rob us of success, but the accumulation of tiny, fragmented moments spent on trivialities, indecision, or aimless activity. The cost is real, and it is paid in the currency of time, energy, and unrealized achievement. Consider how many opportunities knock at the door each day, disguised as tasks, encounters, or fleeting ideas. The person who is constantly distracted may never answer or may respond too late, leaving potential unclaimed and dreams deferred. In contrast, the individual who guards attention recognizes the value of every passing moment, understanding that each choice to focus is a choice to invest in a future of achievement. The price of distraction is high, for it is measured not in dollars, but in the diminished possibility of a life fully lived. Distractions also erode confidence and clarity. When the mind is constantly diverted, thoughts become fragmented, decisions lose precision, and energy is dissipated. Productivity declines, momentum falters, and what could have been accomplished with a few hours of focused effort stretches into days or weeks. The silent thief of distraction is relentless, striking without warning and leaving little trace except the quiet awareness that something vital has been lost. Yet those who understand this cost take steps to protect themselves. They create boundaries, establish rituals, and dedicate uninterrupted periods to the work that matters most, knowing that focus is the antidote to loss. The price of distraction is not merely in what is delayed, but in what is never realized. Every idea abandoned, every goal deferred, every action left incomplete represents a portion of potential that may never return. Awareness is the first step in countering this cost. By recognizing the moments when attention is diverted, the individual can take deliberate steps to reclaim control, redirecting energy toward meaningful action. The mind, like a muscle, grows stronger through repeated effort, and each victory over distraction compounds into greater clarity, efficiency, and accomplishment. Ultimately, the cost of distraction is a measure of how much life is surrendered to circumstance rather than purpose. The individual who learns to identify, resist, and overcome distractions invests in a life where opportunity is seized, potential is maximized, and achievements are not left to chance. Focus becomes a shield against loss, a compass guiding action, and a force that transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results. Daily habits of focus compound into long-term success, and yet so few take the time to understand the quiet power of consistent attention. Success is rarely the result of a single grand effort or a sudden stroke of luck. It is the outcome of small, deliberate actions performed day after day with clarity and purpose. Each moment you choose to focus, each hour you devote to meaningful work, is an investment in your future, a seed planted that will grow into results far beyond what a single effort could achieve. Habits of focus are the engine that transforms ordinary people into those who accomplish extraordinary things. Think about the rhythm of daily life. The distractions are many, the demands constant, and the temptations endless. Without deliberate habits, attention drifts, energy dissipates, and progress becomes a matter of chance rather than design. Yet the individual who cultivates focused habits creates a powerful momentum. By setting aside specific times for important work, by eliminating interruptions, and by training the mind to return again and again to the task at hand, they achieve more in a day than most accomplish in a week. The compounding effect of these repeated efforts cannot be overstated. Just as interest grows on a financial investment, so too does the power of attention grow on a life consistently applied toward purpose. Habits of focus also build resilience. Life will always offer distractions, challenges, and unexpected demands, but when the mind is trained to concentrate, it resists the pull of the trivial. Each time you overcome the temptation to divert your attention, you strengthen not only your ability to focus, but also your capacity for discipline, patience, and self-mastery. These qualities, cultivated quietly over time, become the foundation of achievement, enabling you to tackle larger projects, take on greater responsibilities, and pursue more ambitious goals without being overwhelmed by the noise of the world. Furthermore, daily focus sharpens judgment and enhances clarity. When the mind is free from constant interruption, it can analyze, plan, and create with precision. Ideas that once seemed fleeting crystallize into strategies. Solutions that were hidden in chaos emerge clearly. Decisions become deliberate rather than reactionary, and actions carry the weight of intention. Over time, these habits of focused attention accumulate into a life marked not by wasted effort, but by measurable results, progress, and accomplishment. The truth is simple: greatness is not achieved by random effort or sporadic bursts of energy. It is cultivated through the persistent practice of focused attention, applied consistently every day. The individual who forms these habits discovers a compounding power that multiplies productivity, sharpens the mind, and transforms ordinary effort into a force capable of producing extraordinary success. Awareness of your environment and your impulses is the first step toward mastery, for the mind cannot control what it does not observe. Every day, we move through a world filled with influences, some subtle, some overt, each one vying for a piece of our attention. The ordinary person drifts unconsciously reacting to these stimuli, allowing mood, habit, and circumstance to dictate their actions. The extraordinary individual, however, cultivates awareness. They watch their own thoughts, monitor their habits, and recognize the subtle forces that pull them away from their chosen path. It is this conscious observation that creates the space for deliberate action, the space in which focus can take root and grow. Consider the impulses that arise within the mind: the urge to check a message, the distraction of curiosity, the temptation to respond immediately to every demand. Left unchecked, these impulses scatter energy and fragment attention, leaving the individual caught in a cycle of reaction rather than creation. Awareness allows you to intercept these impulses, to recognize them for what they are, and to choose whether or not they deserve a response. This act of conscious choice is the foundation of self-mastery, for it transforms the mind from a passive vessel into an active agent of purpose. Equally important is awareness of your environment. The spaces you inhabit, the people you interact with, and the information you consume all shape the direction of your attention. The mind naturally adapts to what surrounds it. By cultivating an environment that supports focus, free from unnecessary noise and interruptions, you give yourself the opportunity to channel energy toward your highest priorities. Awareness empowers you to make these adjustments to create a context in which achievement is not merely possible but inevitable. This practice of observing both the internal and external world strengthens the mind, sharpens judgment, and heightens the ability to respond deliberately rather than react impulsively. Each moment of awareness is a small but powerful investment in your capacity to achieve. Over time, the habit of mindfulness builds clarity, reduces wasted effort, and allows the individual to navigate challenges with precision. Decisions are made with confidence, actions are executed with purpose, and energy flows where it is most effective. Awareness, once cultivated, becomes a tool that magnifies every other habit of success. It illuminates distractions before they can take hold, identifies opportunities before they slip away, and ensures that focus is sustained even amidst the chaos of daily life. The individual who masters awareness develops not only the power to direct attention, but also the insight to understand the impact of each choice, the consequences of each distraction, and the pathways that lead most efficiently toward meaningful achievement. Action, guided by focus, transforms vision into reality, for thought alone, no matter how brilliant, is powerless without deliberate execution. Many people dream, plan, and imagine extraordinary lives, yet they falter at the critical step of turning intention into action. The difference between those who succeed and those who only wish lies not in talent or luck, but in the ability to take consistent, purposeful action while protecting the mind from distraction. Focus channels energy, aligns effort, and directs movement toward a specific outcome, and it is through this alignment that dreams are converted into tangible results. Consider the nature of action guided by focus. It is not rushed or haphazard. It is deliberate, precise, and persistent. The individual who achieves remarkable outcomes breaks tasks into manageable steps, dedicates attention fully to each one, and advances with unwavering consistency. Every movement is intentional, every effort a building block toward the larger vision. In contrast, action without focus dissipates energy, produces scattered results, and often leads to frustration and stagnation. The mind, like a powerful engine, requires direction to operate at its maximum efficiency, and focus provides that direction. When action is paired with focus, productivity multiplies. Obstacles that once seemed insurmountable appear solvable, for the mind is fully engaged in overcoming challenges rather than being pulled in conflicting directions. Decisions are made quickly and confidently, for clarity of purpose eliminates indecision. Momentum builds naturally as each completed task reinforces discipline, strengthens confidence, and propels further achievement. The cycle of focused action creates a rhythm of progress, where effort compounds and results expand far beyond the initial input. Furthermore, action guided by focus cultivates resilience. Life will always present distractions, setbacks, and unexpected events. The individual who has mastered the ability to concentrate on what matters most does not falter in the face of interruption. They return repeatedly to their priorities, undeterred by noise or adversity, understanding that persistence and focus together are the engines of progress. Each action, no matter how small, carries weight because it is executed with intention, reinforcing the principle that consistent, directed effort outpaces sporadic brilliance every time. Ultimately, vision alone is insufficient to achieve success. It is the combination of clarity, focus, and deliberate action that turns ideas into results. The person who learns to act with purpose, to channel energy through a disciplined mind, and to sustain focus amidst the myriad distractions of life, possesses a force capable of transforming ordinary circumstances into extraordinary outcomes. Every goal becomes reachable, every dream actionable, and every ambition achievable when action is guided by unwavering attention and deliberate focus.